With the mayor of Gotham City, Nakano, shot dead in his own home and more suspects than you can shake a batarang at, it will be up to the Dark Knight detective to live up to his name once more. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of Batman issue number 154 and find out what happens next together, shall we? So then, picking up directly from where the last issue left off, Mayor Nakano was found dead in his own home. Bullock and the other cops are doing everything they can to try and scour the place for evidence, but unfortunately they're coming up pretty empty-handed. They know that there was no forced entry, and that the neighbors didn't actually hear anything outside the gunshot that no doubt did this guy in. Batman, as well as Private Detective Gordon, are also working the case from their own end. They wonder how much they can actually trust the GCPD to solve this crime when they knew full well that Mayor Nakano was about to try and oust Police Commissioner Vandal Savage from power at the next City Council meeting, making him an obvious suspect. Savage is also especially petty to Gordon in this issue, calling him Private Citizen Gordon, instead of Commissioner. Nakano's wife gets taken to the police station where she will be interrogated soon, giving Batman just enough time to swing by the home of Nakano's own assistant. She's absolutely falling to pieces right now, implying that their relationship was a lot closer and a lot more personal than it was professional. Let us not forget it was implied in the last issue that Nakano was screwing around on his wife, and in those situations, it's usually the assistant. The assistant reiterates to Batman basically everything we learned in the previous issue, that Nakano was fighting with damn near everyone under the sun: Police Commissioner Savage, Edward Nygma, as well as the Court of Owls, as represented by their creepy new leader, a guy named Leonid Kull, which seriously, what a frickin' bad guy name that is. Things aren't exactly looking great for Nakano's wife, Koyuki, either. She's gone full first 48, completely lawyering up and refusing to let the cops see her phone. She also swears she wasn't at home during the time of the killing because her and her 2-year-old son decided to just go for a walk at midnight, not suspicious at all. By the time Batman manages to track down Leonid to shake his tree for information, we see that he's already having a celebratory dinner with Edward Nygma, as well as the brand new Mayor Horgan. He, of course, was the deputy mayor under Nakano, meaning that as of tomorrow when the news officially breaks, he's gonna have a brand new job. This is, of course, incredibly convenient and incredibly suspicious that all of these guys just so happen to be celebrating at the very same time, though admittedly some pieces just don't fit. Before Leonid sicks his army of cops on Batman, forcing him to fight his way out, he's sure to mention that if he did want to kill the mayor, he probably would have done it more stealthily than just to murder him in his home one lonely night. And I mean, it's true, the court's MO is undead owl assassins. What's the point of even having the undead owl assassins if you don't use them, I ask ya? Same goes for the Riddler too. The Court of Owls may very well have backed Nygma's brand new gains into the corporate world, but simply shooting people, yeah, that's not Eddie's MO either. He'd have to make it all grandiose and supervillain, and of course he'd have to put a riddle at the end of it, meaning that even if these guys are involved, none of them pulled the trigger. Now that's all pretty bad news for Batman, but in the morning, Bruce Wayne has his own bad news to deal with, mainly that apparently there's some secret half-brother out there looking to try and sue him. According to Bruce's CFO, this guy's name is William Purfold. He's a second-generation nurse at Gotham Medical who claims that his mother was in residency at the same time as Bruce's father, famous Surgeon Thomas. And while the timeline of events would certainly line up, Bruce refuses to believe this for a number of reasons. One, this isn't the first time he's had some fake half-sibling come out of the woodwork. Lincoln March, anybody? But more than that, he refuses to think that his father was ever a cheater. Though, sadly, with no Alfred around, the only way that Bruce is ever going to get the truth about what kind of people his parents were before their death, he decides to go look up Leslie Tompkins once again, and the answer he gets is honestly pretty surprising. You see, Leslie actually remembers William's mother, Tara, and yeah, her and Thomas did kinda have a brief work thing going on during a time when the Wayne's marriage was on rocky ground. Thomas had just started working long hours as a surgeon, forcing Martha to spend more time alone at the manor for the first time ever. And while Bruce has always clung to this sunny, beautiful image in his mind of his parents, in truth they were actually real-deal fallible people. Though Leslie does say whatever Thomas and Martha's problems were, they did work it out, and she likes to think that her friend didn't have such bad wandering cock syndrome that he would also end up completely abandoning any child that he may or may not have sired out of wedlock. And hey, speaking of bastards, at that very moment, all those anti-Wayne protesters we saw in the last issue end up storming the building. Hey, it's that Bruce Wayne guy, he wants to bring communism to the city. I read about it online, all these free clinics and cheap housing. It's just to bring in immigrants for reasons. They took my gerb, probably. Batman tries his hardest to defuse the situation, but when one of the protesters ends up grabbing a little girl in Leslie's care, he completely snaps and chokes the dude out. This situation only continues to get more and more ugly too, as one of these guys also pulls a gun on Bruce. In the end, Bruce is only saved by the quick arrival of Commander Starr, who is sure to rub a lot of salt in the wound by saying, "Don't you hate it when a perfectly good protest ends up getting hijacked by a few bad actors? Surely you don't think anything less of them, Bruce." Okay, you know what? This guy has the most punchable face. With that problem briefly dealt with, Batman decides to take the opportunity to rejoin Detective Gordon so they can go over the crime scene themselves and see what Bullock and the others missed. First off, while Nakano was shot very expertly with only one bullet, it seems that he also got punched in the face beforehand, and the killer, whoever they were, actively tried to clean up the scene using bleach, implying that whoever this person was, while they are more than capable of committing murder, they're not stone cold. In fact, they also put a trophy back up on the mantle, something that a psycho wouldn't normally do. It's right around here when Batman slowly but surely starts putting all the different puzzle pieces into place does he get another call from Bullock. Apparently the cops managed to break into Nakano's wife's phone only to realize that she was actually having an affair all her own. Again, not uncommon in situations like this one. But it's also here though that things end up taking the most shocking and unexpected turn, as Gordon actually pulls a gun on Batman. He apologizes, saying that he didn't want to, and that he never wanted for any of this to happen. Batman is obviously gobsmacked by all of this, and he feels even worse when he ends up having to actually punch poor Gordon in the face. And believe it or not, it's on that note right there the comic comes to a close, everybody. And so that was Batman issue number 154, and once again, I'm really enjoying what Chip Zdarsky is doing here. It all just feels so wonderfully different than all the other Batman stories we've been getting in the main series for, God, years now. This is a straight-up true blue detective story with clues, suspects, and red herrings. And the best part is, I'm happy to say I have no idea what's going on. Normally in stories like this, I'm able to guess the twist 100 miles away, but here, I really don't know where it's gonna go, but I'm happy picking up clues and forming my own theories. Was Nakano marked for death by a supervillain cabal, or was he killed by a vengeful lover, or even a vengeful lover's lover? I don't know. I will say though, for what it's worth, Nakano is officially more interesting now in death than he maybe ever was in life. And also, hey, you know what? I'm just enjoying Gordon being in these stories too and working with Batman. Feels like it's been forever since we've seen that either. Overall, I think I'd feel comfortable giving this one an 8.5 out of 10, and I cannot wait for the next issue to drop because I really am invested in this mystery and where it's going.
Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, you know, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.